Hello Kitaholic Kit fans, how are we all? So I'm up with my second video for this month and I'm trying something a little bit different. And in the main kit this month we got this ready coloured cardstock, and I have to say it's very plain, obviously, and I wasn't sure how I was going to use this, so I decided that I would use it in this one as a bit of a challenge to myself. And I wanted to use, I've got 4 photos here which I've trimmed right down to make really small, and they're kind of sequential photos of my daughter with my partner, so her dad, going down a water slide at a water park here earlier in the year. And I actually didn't realise how good a job I took of these photos, I have to admit. And yes, so anyway, so I decided that I would do this layout with these photos and do them in this order, and I decided that I would do them in the diagonal as if they were going down a slide, and I thought I would use this red cardstock in the background as sort of to mix in with a bit of the red of her swimmers and some red in the parts of the water park features as well. And I decided to get some, as you can see, some strips of the pattern papers that were in the kit and do them as a bit of a kind of matte almost down the background of the photos. And I did them on the diagonal as well, just as a different visual element to the layout. You know, we map photos all the time, and, you know, do as you usually do and not. And I just wanted to do something a bit different. And as I said, when you actually see the photos, you can see that they are from them sort of coming off the top of the slide, sort of to the middle sections, and then at the bottom. So I sort of sat and thought, I want to do something a little different. And I thought this was perfect. I thought I was pretty clever, actually, but, you know, yeah, that's just me. It's something different for me. I haven't done a layout quite like this before, and I thought, why not? I added some a blue strip at the bottom to represent, I guess, kind of like the water. So I wanted to make it look like they were coming down the slide, I guess. And then we had this, what do you call it? Like the textury, oh, my mind's gone blank. Was it taffeta? No. Mind blank. Like that, if you've got the kits you'll see it, it's like that netting-y kind of stuff, and it's yellowy colour with gold, silver sort of dots through it. Anyway, I wasn't putting that there, and then it sort of just got stuck to my hand when I was playing around, and I was like, why not? It added a different element, it added a bit of texture, and so I stapled it to the side just to add something a bit different, and that's what I did. Now, I contemplated doing some stitching, I did, in that back piece between each of the strips of pattern paper, but I wanted to get this layout done while I had the time, and I'm a little lazy. I'm not great at stitching, so instead I got my Pit pen that you just saw me show you there and just drew some little blue dashes in between each of them. That was my version of stitching. As I said, I didn't have a lot of time, and I really wanted to get this layout done while the mojo was there, the headspace. You know, when you've got an idea and you're like, yes, I need to get this done, I need to get it out. Well, that was me with this. So I wasn't wasting time on stitching, and I don't have a sewing machine to run it through, so I wasn't hand stitching because I'm not great at it. So no, I'll dodgy it up. Why not? I'll make it pretend. Now, I decided that my photos needed a little bit of a thin border around them just to get them a little bit more popping off that background. So I did get some of the pink pattern paper that was in there. So it's all the crepe paper Wild at Heart, if you're not familiar with what was in the kit this month. If you're not, jump over and have a look at the shop, the Kitaholic Kits shop, because you're missing out, man. These are awesome, bright, cool, you know, papers. But yes, I went with the pink leafy one, if you've got the kit, just to give a really bright sort of thin border, just to get it off that red background, those photos up a little bit more, to get them standing out a little bit. Now, when I saw this Stay Sassy, I so knew, even when I unpacked the kit, I so knew it was going to be something for my. Now, when this picture come up, I was like, yep, I'm so doing this with where it is sitting at the bottom. She's got this whole strut, like, I've done it, I own it, and off she's strutting. Now, the story behind this is my daughter is she's a bit of an introvert like her dad. She does have my nature a little bit and a bit extroverted, so it's a bit of a yin-yang balance there. But a little while ago, last year, I think we took them to Big Splash, and she was terrified of the slides. She wouldn't go anywhere. This is like a little kid slide, so it's meant for this younger age group. She wouldn't go near them, wouldn't go on it, wouldn't even look at it. You know, you tried to convince her, she'd scream, no, 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 no. Wouldn't even stand near it. So it was completely off limits. I think even wouldn't go near the section of water that was near it. Anyway, so this was a bigger complication to get her up onto it. I took a few goes of her climbing even just to the top, and then she'd come back down and climb to the top and come back down the stairs. And then she went up there with her dad, and she absolutely loved it. Could not get her off it after this. So the whole stay sassy, she's full of sass and attitude and all of that. But this picture was just like, yeah, man, I own this. You know, this slide is just mine now. So I had to put it there, especially, like I said, because 12 months, if that, not that even, before she was terrified and wouldn't go anywhere near it. And now she's just like owning it. So yeah, so it was quite funny. So there's the little backstory there of these photos. But yeah, so anyway, so what I've done as well is I got the stencil that was in our kit, in the main kit, and using some distressed oxides that were from my stash that not in the kit, but I'm pretty certain you can get some oxides inks from the Kitaholic Kit shop anyway. Blended 2 different colours through the stencil. Now, I wanted to try out if I could, you know, make that ombre kind of effect. Man, I don't know if I really did it, but, you know, I used a bit of a blue and a green tone through the leaf stencil as well, just to give another bit of texture, a bit of visually kind of interest in that background red cardstock. As I said, it's very plain. It's not really textured, so I just wanted to add some more interest onto that background without overpowering with lots of mixed media or anything like that. I knew when deciding on this layout that there wouldn't be lots of embellishing, only because I knew the way that I'd structured the photos with the diagonal and the strips and things like that, that would be enough visually that I wouldn't need heaps. So that's why there's not a lot of that in the background either, and not a lot of needing to have mixed media and things like that. So as you can see, I've just added a tag, laid up a tag with another embellishment piece from crepe paper, ephemera pack. This little piece here says current mood, and I'm just using one of my Nuvo script pens to write oh yeah, and just laid a vellum leaf with a cardstock leaf, and then a vellum piece that says goodness that you can see down that bottom left. And I did struggle a little bit in whether or not to embellish this page, and how much embellishing to do. It really, the red cardstock tripped me up, but as I said, it was a challenge for me to use it. It's not a colour I would pick by any means, but I wanted it. It was in the kit. I wanted to use it. I'm trying to make sure I really use the kits up. Plus, I thought it might be, if you're a bit like me and not sure how to use this colour in your kit, I wanted you to be able to see that, hey, it can be used with, you know, with. So, you know, give it a go. Absolutely. Adding a title there, big hooray. Using those acrylic, no, they're not acrylic, sorry. Seriously have the worst headache, so I'm trying to do this voiceover and I can't think. Plasticky coloured, what are they? Thickers that we got. Now I'm going through and I'm going to use some of the exclusive printable die cuts that we get in the kits to add in some little pops of embellishments here and there throughout the photo here. So that one I think says live boldly. I think this one says something about adventure seeker maybe. Could be wrong. Yes, Adventure Seeker. I think I moved these around. I don't know if I edited that out. Where they were sitting, so I do move these two little pieces around. Yeah. And now I'm looking at where to journal because I wasn't really sure. I was going to just journal straight under that Stay Sassy or straight onto the blue cardstock. But wasn't feeling that. So I decided that I would use the little labels we get, and I would journal on those just to give it the journaling a bit of pop, I guess, off that blue cardstock. Add a different bluey colour to the layout as well. Some more pops of little colour. And now I'm just going to add some little blings with the rhinestones we get in the kit. Just around the page, as you can see, just to add, and again, some more elements of shine, glimmer, bit of sparkle. Why not? Balances off as well with that fabric texture, taffeta, whatever it's called. I'm so sorry. Cannot think. Might be time for coffee. Then maybe some wine a bit later, but whatever. Because that's a bit shimmery, that texture stuff. I think I went a little bit overboard with the sparkles. I felt that it looked really flat, but I went with it. Now I'm gonna use my Roller Date stamp. It's a Project Life one, just from my stash, just to add the date. I use my red. I think I use my red Stays on ink. No, maybe not. Maybe I use black. Could have swore I used red. See, there you go. Tricked myself again. I think it's called Cherry Pie, maybe. Just cherry, maybe. Just to add some journaling, some date stamping there. And then I think that may be it. So as you can see, the red cardstock worked quite well as a background in the end. You just add bits and pieces to it. And the diagonal little photos I really enjoyed doing. So give it a whirl. It's a different way of presenting your photos. And these are the close-ups. Oh, I added some chipboard as well at the end that I didn't actually have on camera. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this month's kit. See you next time. Bye.